Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. God has hidden unlimited treasures in His Word. Every time we open it, we can discover a new treasure, or admire an old one. What will we find today? Let's dig in. Here's Carla Early with Treasure Hunt in the Word.
People can easily discourage us, can't they? Just one word from someone, and we can go from hopeful and excited about something to depressed and discouraged. David has the antidote for discouragement in Psalm 3. David spent a lot of his life running. For years as a young man, he ran from a jealous King Saul. Later in life, though, he had to flee from his own son, Absalom, who started a coup to overthrow him and become king. Now, 2 Samuel 15 through 18 tell the facts of the story, but David's character and perspective shows up more in Psalm 3. He said, "Lord, how they have increased who trouble me. Many are they who rise up against me. Many are they who say of me, there is no help for him in God." David had many theys in his life. They were very discouraging. We don't know who all those people are. He might not have known them all either. But apparently the pervading thought was that God had abandoned him and wouldn't help him. Absalom would prevail. The thing is, all of his theys didn't know God. They didn't know that God's character was faithfulness. They didn't realize that the Lord controlled every detail of David's life and loved David so very much. They didn't see God as a tower of refuge, a fortress, or a stronghold as David did. They hadn't learned of his sovereignty and trustworthiness. They didn't expect God to deliver him and protect him. Nope, they looked at David's predicament and announced to him, "You're a goner. Not even God can help you now." But what David had learned in his years of trusting the Lord was that the more people that say God can't, the more likely he is to prove them wrong. He'd been in lots of God can't type of situations, and he'd seen God do what they said that he couldn't over and over. David had unshakable confidence in God's power and love for him. He knew that the only reason they said God's not going to be able to help you was that they didn't know God. That's why in the next verse, David says, "But you, O Lord, are a shield for me, my glory, and the one who lifts up my head." Right there, he announces three qualities of God that he clings to throughout the situation, that he knew about God and they didn't. First, God is a shield. He is our protector, coming between us and anyone or anything that wants to hurt us. These discouragers couldn't see God shielding David. They only saw the problems coming at him, not the protection that the Lord would give him. But David had experienced his Lord as a shield in the past. Now notice here, he doesn't ask God to be his shield. He declares what he already knows, that you are my shield. When we already know who God is, we can do that too. David also declared that God was his glory. All of his life, the honor and glory David received came straight from God. God had taken him from being a shepherd to being a king. David didn't ask these things for himself. Anything worth praising in David's life was all God. At this point, people around him saw him in disgrace. But David knew that God was his glory, had been and always would be, whether or not he had a crown on his head. As Christians, we too should find our self-worth in the Lord, in what he says about us, not in what others say. People may see us as failures or deride us as foolish and weak, but as God's beloved children, he says we are chosen as his special possession, holy, blameless, forgiven, rich in his love, and oh so much more. In the last part of verse 3, David says God is the lifter of his head. This phrase can have many connotations, including that God would be the one to put him back on the throne and restore his dignity and remove his disgrace, which he did later. But the picture it conjures up in my mind is a person with their head hung in shame or sadness, and the Lord taking his hand and lifting the person's chin up until they are eye to eye. Then Jesus would say, "You are my beloved child. I love you. Don't listen to them. They don't know me. You do, and you know that you can trust me." When you're sad, lonely, feeling defeated or discouraged, imagine Jesus lifting up your head with these words. Then declare, whether to yourself or to the world, "You, O Lord, are a shield for me, my glory, and the lifter of my head."
As always, we'd love to hear from you. If you'd like to share a treasure, support this ministry, or get Carla to speak at an event, please contact us at treasurehuntintheword@gmail.com. You can listen to other episodes on our website, which you can find in the description below. Thanks for listening, and have a great day.